Let's talk World Cup tickets, because as exciting as it is, the possibility of having tickets to a World Cup game, it can also be very stressful. And here's the reason why. Canada Soccer has an 8% allotment to the Canadian games and the FIFA lottery. And we wonder with that, by the way, gentlemen, so you have 8% that's allotted that they can hand out. We know that Canada Soccer, through their Canada Red program, they're allowing people in a lottery system to also get tickets. That way you can sign up just your name. You can also make a donation, which will increase your chances as well in the lottery through Canada Red. But let's just look at that 8% for a second, because when you look at that, it seems like such a small amount. Do you think the true national team fans will be able to get tickets, or are you concerned that there will not be a home field advantage, Wheels?
I'm not really concerned about that, but the ticket process won't be easy for those who expect to be attending games at either BMO Field or BC Place when Canada plays, and it's going to be very expensive. Let's be honest here, there's been a number of changes. The 8% allotment for the Canada games for Canadian support is a little bit lower than what's previously been allocated in previous World Cups. And alongside, the scheme isn't new, and I call it a scheme, this Canada Red program, I should call it, a benefits program, which is supposed to bring Canadian fans together, but it's one that's clearly done for profit. It's to make money, because the more you pay, the better chance that you're going to get of tickets. So it's a waterfall system that if you become part of the $5,000 program, if there's going to be fewer people that are paying that amount and a better likelihood of people getting tickets. And there's a waterfall effect as you go through the tiers. So essentially, if you pay more, you'll have a better chance with no guarantees. That's the kicker, and that's what has kind of left people feeling uncomfortable about the situation. Canada Soccer is approaching this. This is a World Cup. This is a time to bring some money into the program and allow that to filter through however they deem to see fit here. Also, this World Cup is going to be more expensive just in terms of the ticket prices in general, up to 2 times what they cost in Russia in 2018. And beyond that, dynamic pricing has come into play as well. So the North Americanization of ticketing, and anyone that tries to get a concert ticket or a sports game ticket understands what that's all about. Well, this has come to a World Cup where generally it's being opened up to the public and being a lottery system where there's no guarantees, but at least you're not paying over the top in order to attempt to get access. So, the best way possible for fans would just be like a fair, affordable, and equitable way where all Canadians have an equal shot at tickets without paying, potential fees or program fees over top of that. That would be the best way of doing things. But Canada Soccer have looked at this in a different way. They're controlling the inventory for those Canada games, and it's going to come at a cost. That's the reality of the situation. I understand why people don't like it, because asking to pay more without any guarantees is something that people don't want to stomach. And I absolutely understand that sentiment.
So we know there are no guarantees when it comes to getting tickets to games. There are other things that will be made available, when you make that kind of donation. But we know that other federations do this, Wheel. So it's not like out of the ordinary for Canada Soccer to use an opportunity like this to make money for the federation.
Yeah, to a certain degree, but generally the total isn't as much. So if you're an England soccer fan, there's a membership fee of $50 to $150 in order to become part of that, and they reward people with a better chance of getting tickets based upon how much you follow the team. So England supporters that would go follow their team abroad would then have a better chance of getting World Cup tickets when they come available. The United States has a program, but it's for a much smaller amount of tickets that they put as part of that program. So yes, other countries, it's the magnitude and scope and the exclusivity of it. Like, this is the only way, if you're a Canada fan, that you can really go about and ensure that you're part of that 8% of tickets beyond the general pre-sale or sale of tickets through the FIFA website, ticketing website, where you're very much part of a lottery and you're not part of the Canada allotment of tickets. So it's the way that Canada Soccer is kind of managing this program. And they believe that there's inherent benefits and perks and merchandise discounts that they're giving away with it. But for most people, they just want the World Cup tickets. They want that experience, and being asked to pay more to have a better chance, it just doesn't sit well with many people.
What about that home field advantage, Jordan? Are you a little bit concerned about that? Because when you look at the 8%, it doesn't exactly amount to a lot of fans in a stadium, really. I mean, it's a couple thousand that could be at a Canada game. We are talking about Canadian games here. It could, equal about 2 to 3,000 Canadian fans in venues at this point, but which will be increased for FIFA to about 40,000. And we know in the past, John Herdman, when he was the head coach, was very vocal about, hey, here we are playing in Toronto, and why do I see more fans of the other team, in the stands? So now you're at a World Cup. Are you a little concerned that it's not going to feel like a home game for the Canadian teams?
Yeah, I probably won't, to be honest. But my approach, so I am concerned. I think this beautiful game. I think the fact that we're co-hosting, when you have dreams of co-hosting and having a World Cup game in your home country, you get excited. But I don't think it's going to be a place that's packed with red and white shirts and Canadian fans. I've already decided, though, with 10 months going into this World Cup, you two are my friends. You can get on board. My neighbor asked me, "Oh, do you know if you're getting tickets?" I said, "Mama,
everyone's
not your guy."
Yeah.
I said, "Mama," I said, "Look, hey, I'm not your guy. But what I can promise you, anything outside the stadium is going to be my domain. Okay? The DJs, the little meeting fans, I will be there because that's free." When you start going in,
listen, I can get you a sticker.
I can sticker. High five.
The crux of this and the difficulty of this entire equation is that, yes, Canada is part of the World Cup, but it's not really going to feel like our World Cup because of the magnitude and scope that the United States are, largely the hosts of this tournament, and Mexico is another participating nation. Like, having been to World Cups and understanding what it's all about, you want everyone to feel like they're involved. So there's a couple things that happen when it's taking place in more cities, like the Women's World Cup was in this country. There's a real feel, a taste, an opportunity for more tickets to come available for people to experience what a World Cup is like. With just Toronto limited games, Vancouver limited games, that opportunity shrinks. And that goes beyond just the Canada Red program and the Canada games, because I feel like a lot of fans, when a World Cup comes around, they want to see other games as well. And hopefully marquee teams and players are playing in your market. The problem is, and I haven't been able to confirm this, but typically at these World Cups, they encourage local residents or residents of a country to go in and buy Category 4 tickets that are, available for purchase at a decent price. And 10 to 15% of tickets are available exclusively generally for residents of a country. So they get to taste what a World Cup game is all about. I don't see any Category 4 tickets. Maybe I'm missing something available to Canadians exclusively when you're going to look to go to non-Canada games in both Toronto and Vancouver. That's problematic for me, because the Canada games is going to be a tough ticket to get. They want to try to make sure that, Voyagers and former players and people, family and friends, and everyone's involved. It's a very difficult one, but I think there has to be an outlet for Canadians to buy tickets to other games beyond just going through the FIFA portal and be first come, first serve. There really should be priority for Canadian fans. If I'm missing it, get in the comments and correct me, because I just haven't been able to track that down. But I know for a fact, being in South Africa, being in other countries for a World Cup, local residents or residents of the country got priority and ended up getting to have that true World Cup experience. If we don't have legacy projects in terms of infrastructure, if people can actually go out and experience the games firsthand, then what are we doing here? Like, what will the legacy be? And what we'll build will be more distrust for Canadian soccer, the entire community, and what it stands for, what it's all about. So it's a delicate balance. It's one thing asking people to pay more to see Canada. It's another thing if the accessibility across the board is slim to none. That makes things very, very difficult to sell.
We'll continue to keep an eye on that as more information comes out on how people can get involved in purchasing tickets or being part of any kind of program that can get them tickets. Because other than that, we're all going to be sitting there like this, you, me, and Uncle Bob going,
at the pub. At the pub.